Thanks for being early, Susan. Happy Thursday. You're muted. Maybe that'll.
Okay, I just unmuted. Can you hear me now?
Perfectly.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, you and Kevin are the old school version of on time, which is early.
I didn't want to miss this. I'm really interested in this call, so I wanted to make sure, and they said, don't be late.
Cool. Did you hear about it from other supporters? Looks like you're here to support. You could just
Legacy.
I guess I could, instead of looking at.
Sure, I can tell you.
Oh, the baseball team.
Yes, Legacy. 9U. My grandson's on that team.
Very cool. Yeah, I was a baseball player, so thanks for supporting baseball.
Oh, absolutely.
And your grandson.
Absolutely. I did for my son as well. So when he was younger. So yeah, I'm totally into that. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. Kevin, welcome. We have 6 minutes before this gets started, and usually for early people, they kind of get a treat because before you guys ever showed up tonight, we sent you a custom solar design. Did you guys happen to receive that?
Unless you sent it while I was joining, I didn't see it in my email, but I will definitely look again.
Maybe it came yesterday, but it definitely had come like just before the meeting.
Oh,
but
okay.
we tend to end up in spam.
Oh, okay. I'll check then.
Yeah, and so it might be a good time to take a brief look at it, just because we made it based on what we would do if we lived at your house. But you might be like, John, I don't want my panels on the front, or I don't want them here. I want them back here. So, we can, because we get a little feedback before this thing starts, we can actually I'll modify it, because tomorrow we're going to send you guys a open book pricing spreadsheet, which is just taking that design we sent you yesterday, or maybe you received it today, and breaking it down into every single dollar of where the money goes.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't realize how inexpensive the actual panels are.
Right.
And so we break it down and show you how much your panels cost, and even how much the installers earn, in case you have a brother who's an electrician or a roofer. So you can actually, it just makes it really easy for you to see, like, here's how much the panels are, here's how much my federal tax credit is. And so it's a more granular proposal we'll just send you tomorrow. But if you wanted any changes done, now's a good time to take a quick peek at it, and you can let me know. John, don't put them there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that, John.
Yeah, awesome. Kevin, did you see your design come in? Oh, muted. Everybody's always muted.
No, I hadn't seen any request or anything about designs.
Okay. Well, all we did was use the amount that you told us that you use on average for electricity. Like when you registered, you might have made up a number like, $200 a month or something like that.
Gotcha.
And based on that number, we put the correct amount of solar panels on your house to produce that amount of electricity. And based on the amount of solar panels, that determines the price. And then everything else is going to be factored from there. So you should have gotten a custom solar design. It'd be a shame if they just didn't make it over to folks. That's one of our favorite things to give people. If it's easy to check, please do so. We got another 3 minutes. Luke's the gentleman that is responsible for sending them over, so he could actually do it if it didn't make it.
Yeah, I just get a ton of emails every day. I might have just missed it.
Okay,
It's on my work email, so yeah.
No problem. It's most people, that's their favorite thing about our service, is they get a custom solar design without having to talk to any salespeople. We sent that thing over before we even got on tonight. And people, usually you got to jump through a bunch of hoops just to find out how much it would cost. So
yeah, typically.
we hope you enjoy it. Oh, Gerald Evans joining us tonight. We'll get started right on time. Thanks for joining us, Crystal.
Hi.
Hello. It looks like we have a lot of newbies on tonight. Almost everybody who registered said they're a newbie when it comes to solar energy.
Yep.
Well, this will be really fun. Hopefully you guys have a ton of questions. We're going to get started in just like 34 seconds. So just giving people a chance to get settled in, find their mute button. Thanks for this is a conversation. So unless there's just a ton of noise in the background, it's way easier to be unmuted just because we'll be asking questions and introducing ourselves. And don't worry, we won't keep you all night. This is just your opportunity to connect with some folks that really know a whole bunch about solar and are happy to answer any questions you have. So it is 6 o'clock. And before we jump into this thing, I just wanted to see if we have a volunteer to read this. It's just to give you guys a good idea to kind of set the tone about what this fundraiser is like, since most folks have not been to a solar exploration fundraiser before. So anybody have a good reading voice? Wouldn't mind reading what's on the screen? No volunteers. There's a whole lot of children in the world that had to do e-learning in the last year because of COVID. And, thank you guys for being here. E-learning is tough. Can you imagine if this was actually a classroom and the teacher was like, who wants to read? And then nobody raised their hands, how that would turn out. Crystal, you must have some kids that do some e-learning.
I do. Yeah, I do.
What would you think about those kids if the teacher asked them to volunteer to do something and they weren't participating?
All right. I guess I'll read it for you guys.
No pressure.
Okay. So thank you, Ovanova. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, exactly. Ovanova.
Okay, perfect. For the wonderful opportunity you provided for our band students to AC Reynolds High School by allowing us to fundraise through your organization. Through your generosity, our students have raised over $8,000 to go to Los Angeles, California to perform at Festival Disney. The cost of this trip is very expensive and has been a financial sacrifice for our students. Many would not have been able to attend the trip without this opportunity. One of our students actually funded her entire trip through Ovanova. It's the easiest fundraiser we've ever had. Our parents were thrilled that no one had to buy or sell anything. They just had to listen to a pressure-free presentation about solar energy. The whole experience has been amazing. Thank you for being so easy to work with and for your commitment to supporting your community.
That was a wonderful reading voice, Crystal. Thank you for
Thank you.
contributing. So we have been working with community organizations like this for 6 years. We love supporting organizations, and we're super grateful that you guys took some time out of your busy lives to show up here tonight. You can relax. This is not a sales presentation. There's nothing to buy. You guys are 100% always going to buy electricity for the rest of your lives. As long as you plan on having a refrigerator and don't plan on becoming Amish, you're going to buy electricity. So just relax. We're just here to talk about a way that you could get it at home from sunshine rather than the power plant, from however your power plant does it. Okay. And again, this is going to be, since you guys haven't been to a solar exploration experience before, I'll just give you a brief overview in a second. But before we do that, this is our team. We're a small team. There's one gentleman who just graduated from college who isn't pictured here, but we're a 6-man team, and there's a woman too. And we've been doing this. Our goal is to add as much value as possible to as many lives as possible. And we think that fundraising and helping you guys raise funds is one way to do that. And we think that teaching folks about solar technology is another. And so the fundraising portion, as soon as we introduce ourselves in like 2 minutes, will be over. You guys don't have to do anything in order to generate the $50 donation other than be here, show that you're a real human, and introduce yourself. As far as, so you don't have to act like you're interested in solar energy, okay? But we did design this conversation for you because we know that people think solar is interesting. We know that folks are curious about it. We also know that nobody likes to deal with salespeople and nobody likes to overpay for a product that they want, right? And so that's why we developed this. All we're doing is getting rid of all the marked up soft costs in the industry, which are just sales, commissions, Google and Facebook ads for solar. And we're taking that money and we're giving it to baseball teams and schools and churches when they invite their supporters to learn about solar energy. We've helped people in 15 states go solar, and they did not pay marked up equipment. We actually get solar equipment from distributors and sell it to you for the same price that we buy it for. They didn't pay for marked up labor. We hire electricians and roofers directly, as opposed to hiring them and then charging you a markup on the labor. So when you see your prices and you end up getting other quotes, don't be alarmed that it's significantly less. You still have 25-year warranties. Everybody's still licensed and bonded. You're just not paying for extra stuff you don't need to. It's like taking an Uber to the airport instead of taking a taxi. So either way, just wanted to be clear about who we are. We stand for humanity. We want to live in a world that makes sense, and we think that solar energy makes sense. So it's your time to shine, guys. That was my time. Thanks for listening to a little bit about Ovanova. We love what we do. So intros. It's going to be your name, where you are, who you came here to support tonight, and if solar didn't cost anything, if your outflow of cash wouldn't change at all, right? You're not going to increase your expenses at all. Why would you want to go solar? So if it was essentially free in the way that you're not changing, if you're paying $200 a month for electricity, if you still paid $200 per month for your electricity, why in the world would you be happy that you were doing it using solar energy? So I'll pick who goes first, and whoever goes gets to pick who goes next. So Kevin, would you mind leading us off?
No, hey, I'm Kevin Bruce from Miami, Florida, and I'm supporting Jeremy Barrios.
Very cool. What organization is
And
Jeremy a part of?
Doral School of Music.
Nice, Doral. Very cool. Well, thanks for being here, Bruce.
No problem. Well, since Crystal's the only lady whose name I caught, I'm going to have to call on her.
You missed the intro. You missed the intro question. So essentially, if you could just have the same exact cost for electricity, nothing changes at all, but you could be getting it from solar energy, why would that be? Why would you be like, again, most people think solar is expensive, but if it wasn't, why would you be excited to use solar?
We're helping the environment.
Environmentally cool. Yeah, I'm just curious. That's we're wondering how people think about solar energy, and most folks, they're pretty excited about having solar if it wasn't expensive. So who gets to go next, Kevin? You called on Crystal?
Please.
Yes. Hi, I'm Crystal, and I am from Broward County, Florida, and I am supporting Margate Legacy 9U. This is a baseball team, my son's baseball team, actually. And your question about solar, if it costs the same as electricity every month and it didn't cost anything to install, I absolutely would use it because it's obviously better for us to be using that than using power from companies like FP&L and stuff like that, I guess. And then I'm going to call on Susan.
Hi, Crystal. Hi.
How are you?
Hi. Good. And hello to everyone else that's on this call. My name is Susan, and I am also from Broward, Coral Springs, Florida. I am here supporting my grandson, Brock. He is also on Legacy 9U baseball. Yay! And I'm really happy to be on this call. I'm totally for solar. Anything that I can use in my yard that's solar, I definitely am out there purchasing it and going green. And I'm like, Crystal, if I could get the same amount of money, why not go solar? So thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. And the only person left that hasn't gone, aside from Luke, who's on the team, it would be Gerald. Gerald, are you here? We can't really see a human. We just see like ether.
Maybe Gerald doesn't know how to work it.
I'll ask Gerald to unmute and see if Gerald can. Going once, Gerald. Going twice, Gerald. Okay, well, maybe Gerald can join at a different time. We do these 6 times a week. So if you guys enjoy this experience tonight and you're like, wow, that was the easiest, coolest way to raise $50 I've ever been a part of, then you can share this experience, and we do this for the rest of our lives. So we're having a blast. So now we get to move on. Thank you guys for introducing yourselves. And just to give you an idea of what the show looks like is, one, we sent you guys a free solar design. If you actually open this, and this is the truth, the God's honest truth, we've been doing this for 6 years. If we were lying to people, then there's no way a school would let us use their service, right? We've been working with Doral for months. And so what you will find, if you check that email with your design, Crystal, you'll find out that you can, if you went solar, you could do it without spending a single dollar up front, just like you got your iPhone. You walked into the store, you walked out of the store, and you'd save $31 a month by going solar. So it wouldn't be the same cost. You would actually save money without anything out of pocket. This is the truth. There's no gimmicks. You would own the equipment, meaning once it's paid for, you actually wouldn't even have an electricity bill, which is kind of cool. Susan, you could go solar with nothing up front, and you'd save $14 a month. Kevin, I'm pretty sure your numbers are off, but it looks like it would be $20. Oh, I don't know if this is correct. We'll have to check it because it looked a little off, but it looks like it would cost you $12 extra a month to go solar, but that's just $12 total. So it'd be like, if somebody said, hey, let's say you were renting a house and you were paying $800 a month. They said, hey, look, you can rent to own this for $850 a month. Most people would pay the extra $50 to become owners of that home. And that's essentially what you do with solar. So either way, it looks like it would cost you a little bit. I think you've got a palm tree shade in the house. Did you cut that thing down, or is it still there?
It's down.
You cut it down? Oh, well then now Luke knows that he can change the shading characteristics. But so either way, the truth is, if you don't pay for, sorry, I was getting a little feedback. If you don't pay for marked up solar panels and marked up labor and a bunch of sales commissions, it is much less expensive to go solar, and you can access it zero upfront cost, just like you get an iPhone. It's 2021. I got my Prius zero down, right? So I drove my car away and I didn't pay anything down. So I just want to say, you guys have a design that actually shows you exactly what I just said in your email. Please take a look at it. We made it for you. Okay. Tomorrow, we're going to send you those numbers broken down so you can see how much the panels cost, how much we earn. You can see every single detail. So you know that we're not joshing you. You'd be like, oh, wow, these guys, this is tier 1 solar panels. These are 25-year warranties. These guys aren't selling cheap stuff. It's just, we're not paying for a bunch of marked up things. So tonight, we'll just take a few minutes to make sure that we're on the same page about stuff, getting clarity on our current situation. There's 3 basic solar concepts that we think if people knew, then they'd be a lot happier and excited to go solar. Like, how in the world does solar work when the sun's not shining or when it's cloudy or rainy? So those are the types of things that, if somebody told you you could save money by going solar, but you didn't know that you wouldn't run out of electricity, you might not want to do it because electricity is important, right? And then there's a chance for you guys to actually continue your solar exploration experience. And I'll explain that in just a second and ask questions, but it'll be like 20 minutes from now. So I'm gonna open this up, if you guys wouldn't mind for a second. Do you guys have any just overt questions just based on what we asked about that you just have to know the answer to? Because you're just like, John, I've been wondering this forever and I don't want to hear you talk for 20 minutes before I get a chance to ask it.
Oh, I'm good.
Nothing that you've been wondering about forever, Susan? You have those walkway solar lights, sounds like?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
How are they working out
know
for you?
they're awesome. It's a no-brainer. We live in Florida, so I get sun all day long, and then then they just go on and stay on all night, and actually even on in the morning when it becomes bright outside for a while. So it's great.
Cool.
I
No
use a
wire.
lot of solar. No, right, exactly. They just feed off the sun.
Cool. Well, this is, we have found in our 6 years of doing this that the biggest reason that more people aren't using solar energy is they're just too busy to actually look into it. That's it. So this slide right here is just to say, hey, fellow humans, you guys do matter. And if I know things are busy and you guys don't know who I am, and you might be like, what the heck does this guy actually want? All I want you guys to do is just take the next 15 to 20 minutes and really digest the data and be curious. If there's something that doesn't make sense, don't worry about like ruining the conversation by bringing up something negative. That's what this is for. We believe everybody on the planet would be using sunshine to produce their electricity if they just had answers to simple questions. So my request is really play the game here and participate. So the clarity on the current situation, guys, it is real simple. This will take 2-3 minutes. How long do you guys intend on using electricity?
The rest of our life.
So are we all clear on that one? Has anybody got a different answer to that question? Great. Thank you, Susan. What people ask us all day long, what is the return on the investment if I go solar? And I'm curious to ask you guys, what is the return on the investment of your electricity bill?
I don't have an answer. I'd have to research it, more. That's why we're on this call, to learn a little bit more about it. I do know people that do have solar, but I really don't, I didn't get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, I'm just, it's more of like a rhetorical kind of
Absolutely.
smart alecky kind of question I ask. But, it's like, what is the return on the investment for our current electricity bills? The answer for most people, once they really dig into it, is negative 100%. It's not even an investment. It's like rent. You could pay for your electricity bill for 30 years and you're not a single day closer to getting rid of it.
Okay.
You guys are homeowners. Why in the world would you rent your electricity if you could own it? And so that's the point here. We're just getting on the same page about the fact that a lot of people are asking what's the ROI on solar, and the simplest answer is the day that you have it installed, because you increase the value of your property more than it costs to do the installation. But we don't need to get in the weeds about it. Essentially, I just want to make sure you guys are clear that we're not comparing apples to apples when we compare your electricity bill to solar, because you can never pay off your electricity bill. It doesn't raise the value of your house. You can definitely own the solar equipment and you can pay them off anytime you want. And it definitely makes your home more valuable and makes it sell faster. And don't take my word, just Google it. So, and the last part to get on the same page about is, and this is, it's just, where is your current electricity coming from? Do you guys know how far away the power plant is?
No.
Yeah, most people don't. Most people don't know how far away it is, or how it's generated in the first place, or how much even one unit of electricity costs. We know what a gallon of gas costs, but how much is a watt? What's a watt cost? But so this is not as important as just recognizing that your electricity comes from a while away from your house, quite a ways, and it's separated by vulnerable power lines. And so for something like after a hurricane, when those power lines could be damaged, you're separated from something that's so integral to most people's lives that when it's not present, it's almost the only thing that we can think about. Do you guys remember the last time the power went out, and how long did it go out for you, Kevin? Just out of curiosity, do you have a generator?
No. When Irma struck, I was out about 10 hours.
Okay. Did life kind of carry on like nothing changed, or was it a little different for you?
I mean, we'd just been through a hurricane, so I kind of expected something, but my 10 hours was nothing compared to some of what my friends and family went through. And if the ladies from Broward know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Totally.
10 hours is nothing in a hurricane. It's like, that's it, I'm good.
Yeah. I grew up in Eastern North Carolina. Back in high school, it went out for 2 weeks for us, and we were taking baths in the Sound with soap. It was like one of those things. So I hear you, Kevin. And so the sun came out the day after the hurricane. And so if you, we're not, just to be clear, the way you currently get your electricity, it's important to you. Electricity is, it's far away from where you live. And now we have technology that you can have on site that operates from sunshine. So it's just, if it's like all that gas stuff, I passed by yesterday, there's like people lined up at the gas station, and it's like, shoot, when we're driving electric cars and we've got solar on our houses, our gas stations become the roofs of our houses. So just want to be clear, we're just not comparing the same thing here. And we've already talked about the fact that all of you guys can go solar for basically no extra cost and nothing up front. So now it just really comes down to understanding solar well enough to know that you're never going to run out of electricity. Your lights aren't going to flicker. Just really understanding details that would stop somebody from using solar. Like, what if a hurricane damages my equipment? What if my roof leaks? Like, questions that people want to know as a homeowner, that knowledge brings confidence, and what's missing is knowledge in this scenario from our perspective. So here's the 3 basic concepts we wanted to dig into tonight. And if you guys, give me an amen, brother John, if you guys get it, and we'll move on. I just want to make sure that I'm covering this stuff well enough to where there's no black boxes of lacking knowledge here. So curious, have you guys ever heard that solar is expensive? Either one of you?
No.
No.
Wow. Okay, that's like most people's experience from my understanding. So Susan's heard that it's expensive. Have you guys ever heard that solar saves people money?
No, I didn't say it. I didn't say it was expensive. I don't have any knowledge of it to even, be able to speak.
Okay. Well, the reason that this question is asked in here as a basic concept is just understanding the financial aspect of solar energy. So I'll, instead of covering it this way, I'll just use a graph. So here is an example, and Susan, you can produce with the design we created, it'll produce 102% of the energy that you need in a year. And Kevin, yours is set right at 100% right now. You could get more equipment if you want, so you can produce more than that, but we just designed it to produce 100% of what you need. So if you are producing 100% of the electricity that you need from sunshine, who do you not have to pay for electricity anymore? Did somebody say something? Yeah, this is just kind of our like public service announcement that we're trying to help. We want to spread this word to everybody on the planet, guys. And it's super simple, but we never know what people understand unless they talk to us. So I'm curious if you're producing 100% of your electricity needs yourself with your own equipment from sunshine, then what does that mean you don't have to buy anymore?
Electricity.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. So I'll use you as an example since you spoke up. So for you, and you're one of the most energy savvy people we talk to on a regular basis because you have a very low electricity bill. But Susan, please play this game with your own phone and your own calculator. But so Kevin, that means you're going to absolve yourself just during the warranty period on your equipment. The guaranteed period of production is 25 years. The first solar panels, they were invented in 1954, and the first ones are still working 67 years later. So people ask us all the time, how long do my solar panels last? I don't know, because the first ones are still working. But your panels that you buy will come with a guarantee of 25 years. So that means if the price of electricity didn't go up and you kept paying $90 a month for 25 years, that would be $27,000, Kevin, that you would pay, that you would not have to pay to the utility company, assuming the price didn't go up for electricity and that you didn't use anymore. So that's pretty cool. So that's how electricity saves you money, because your equipment is going to cost less than that, and it's going to keep working after 25 years, and you get to determine how you want to pay for it. So can you guys see this person on the screen? They chose the zero down option. They didn't want to pay cash, and they didn't want to put a down payment down. So they had no upfront cost, and they chose to pay it off in 21 years. So can you guys see how much this person's saving right off the bat?
Goodness.
We had somebody driving. And so Susan, this is why folks aren't using solar energy, because they're too busy to have this conversation with us. And, we're bribing folks with $50 to come to a educational conversation about solar energy. And we're not asking a ton, but this is where most of the human family is right now, is we're just too darn busy to have this conversation. Are you still with us? Because you don't have to be.
Who? Are you talking to me?
Directly to you, yes.
Oh, yes, of course I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I was just asking a direct conversation. I was just making a point earlier, now it's just.
I know that you were saying that people just don't have time to get their studies done about solar. And that's, I think, why we're all joining this call. And, I'm sorry if I don't have all the answers for you, but I'm here and I'm listening and I'm eager, but I don't know what answer you want me to give you.
Well, I was actually just thinking it's just us now. It's just me and you, Susan. Everybody
Why?
else has already jumped off because they're very busy. But I was
Oh,
just
I
asking.
didn't know. I know, but I didn't know that it was only you and I. I'm not jumped off. So I didn't know that they jumped off. I could just hear the other gentleman going over. I believe he's on the call as well. I just heard him.
Oh yeah, if he is, I'm not able to hear him or see him. But I was just asking, based on what's on the screen, if anyone could tell how much this person is saving by paying. Okay, it's just a simple.
He's saving a lot, right? He's saving a lot. I've got the point what you're making about the solar, but I'm just listening to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Susie, you totally don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. Maybe you're not able to see the screen, and that's the miscommunication.
I'm not.
Is it? Oh, okay.
No,
yeah,
I'm not. That's what I told you earlier. Mine's just spinning and saying, "Wait, I can't see anything." So
okay, I didn't hear you say that. Basically, this is like
right at the first beginning when you and I were chatting. All I see is my face with a black box that says waiting, and it's spinning and spinning. But I'm actually been listening to your whole conversation, and I believe I've been interacting with you.
Yeah, totally. Okay, well, that's what the confusion's coming from, because I have this slide up right now that has.
I can't see. That's why when you asked. That's why when you asked for, was obviously Crystal was the only one that could see it to read it to all of us. I couldn't even see what you were talking about.
I know, and the unfortunate thing is she was driving while she was doing it, which is the only downside of our.
But I wouldn't know that. Yeah, I wouldn't know that. I'm trying to do the best. I'm trying to do the best I can on the call, so I'm not jumping.
Sorry,
I did not. No, I didn't know that you and I were the only ones on the call because I thought I could hear somebody else.
And I totally didn't know you couldn't see what we're doing because it's very visual. And
no, I can't.
So, okay, well, this is, now that I know that we're just talking, then this will be a lot easier. And Susan, in the future, I will, if it's okay with you, Luke can shoot you a text with a way that you can pick a time where you can be in front of a computer and we can actually look at your personal house and your design. But I have it all up in front of me, but the reality is the amount of solar panels that you personally need for your home is going to be determined by the amount of electricity that you personally need in your home.
Right.
And so a lot of people, when they register, they just kind of guess a number. It looks like you said.
I don't. I pay the bill every month. I don't guess at anything in my life. So I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I put that figure down because that's between summer in Florida and winter, and your bill is extremely different from those months, from summer to winter. Yeah, so it drops a lot. So I pretty much put an average of what my bill is for. Well,
that's fantastic. So if you got it right and you didn't guess it, then we got it right and we didn't guess it. And so so basically it means that you would be able to have solar panels, all black ones, installed on your house with no upfront costs, and you would spend $14 a month less than you're currently spending for your electricity.
You told me that at the beginning of the conversation. Yeah, you told me I'd be spending 14, and the other gentleman, actually, if his was incorrect, he would be spending more. So I've been on the whole call, and heard everything. I just can't see anything.
So what kind of questions would you have, since are you just like ready to have those things put up there now, or do you have some questions knowing that you're going to save $14 a month by doing a solid for Mother Earth?
Well, I would have to do a lot more research than just this one phone call, and I'd have to, see what my husband has to say about it. But I'm not ready to make any commitment. Like I had said at the beginning of the call, I need to do my research and learn more about it. What I do know about solar, I do like it, but I don't know enough about it. And to hear you can save money, that's awesome. But I know that there's more into it than that. So that's why I'd have to do my research.
Totally.
Okay.
We hope that you do your
I
research.
will.
So,
When I get off the call, I'll go ahead and I'll look for that email, and I'll look forward to the one from tomorrow. And then if I have questions, I can, reach out and ask at that time.
perfect. Yeah, no problem. And just out of curiosity, do you know how solar would work when the sun isn't shining?
Do I know what?
Do you know how you would keep your lights on in your house when the sun is not out, like at nighttime?
Well, I believe it stores it. And then, like I said, with my solar that I have, it's even on in the morning. So I would believe the solar stores. Am I correct or incorrect?
Solar. I hate to tell people when they're wrong, but the solar panels
Okay.
do not store electricity at
Okay. Well, then
all.
I don't have the answer for you then, John. I don't know. So why
Okay.
don't you, what is the answer? Just so I know what the right answer is.
I would love to share that with you. I merely asked that question because it
Oh,
sounds like you're going to look into solar, and a lot of times when we look into something, we don't even know what questions to ask. But the answer is you would actually be connected to your power company like you always have been.
oh,
So that way, whether it's cloudy or rainy or dark,
uh-huh.
you would have access to just as reliable of electricity.
And then you have to pay that bill to them as well then?
You would so depending on the simple answer is you don't have a bill with them because you don't buy electricity from them.
Uh-huh.
The only cost associated with being connected to the grid, let me look who your utility company is, Florida Power and Light. So you would pay $8.35 a month to have the privilege of being connected to the power lines. But
I got you.
other than that, during the day, you would be producing more electricity than you could possibly use, and it would actually go back into the power lines, and the FPL would purchase it from you to sell it to your closest neighbors. And when they bought it from you, you would get like a credit.
Very
And
interesting.
exactly.
See, these are
And so
things people don't know. Yeah, very interesting.
yeah. And so in the evening time, or when you have like a bunch of family members over and all the lights are on and everybody's taking hot showers, then instead of buying the electricity, you're just going to use those tokens. And that's how you get rid of 100% of your electricity bill is you produce enough during the day where at night and when it's cloudy and rainy, you use the tokens instead of pay dollars for it.
Okay.
And the system we designed for you will produce $200 a month worth of electricity from sunshine. So if you wanted to add an electric car in the near future, you might need a few extra panels. But as of right now, it would delete 100% of your electricity bill as long as you weren't guessing and you got it spot on. Most folks like to call FPL and have them email over the last 12 months usage. So we can see exactly how many units of electricity you purchased in the last 12 months so we can make it spot on. But you might have it, again, if you're exactly correct, then we're exactly correct. But most folks are usually off by like 10 to 15 bucks a month, which changes your quote by like a couple thousand. So,
okay. Well, good to know. Thank you for that. That's very interesting.
Yeah. And,
but I'm good.
Again,
I'm good. I don't have any other questions right now.
Totally. Okay. Well, then you're no longer required to be here.
Okay.
And if you do have more questions, we make it really easy to reconnect. There should be, you can respond back to any emails. There's just usually a ton of questions that people do come up with, like, what about a hurricane and things like that? What if panels get damaged? And so that's what this usually is a chance to not have to spend a bunch of time on Google when you could speak with some folks who've been nerds in the industry for a long time. To just know if you like to speak with humans rather than spend time with Google, we're here for you.
Okay, perfect. No, it's been very interesting, and I'll definitely look for those emails.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being here, Susan. Hope watching the ball games is great this season, and you guys come out victorious.
Thank you, and thanks again for having me on this call.
Wonderful. Well,